Hopefully, you guys can all hear me now. We're going to talk about marketing today, and I'm going to show you guys the way that we do it. And I know there's a lot of people on the call that have a lot of different marketing experience, and I know a lot of people that market like to pay for marketing and like to do mail drops or social media or do dinners or whatever it is. But I didn't know for the first 10 years of my life in this business, I didn't know that there was any marketing available. Like, I didn't really work through any type of IMO, or I didn't really have much education. I just was trying to figure out how to get in front of clients. So, I had been in the business since the late 90s, and, just like all you guys, I had clients, not, thousands, but probably hundreds. And I had, some clients that were really good that I had good relationships with. And so what I did was, and you guys have seen, I believe, under our footprints on the Financial Education Partner website, which we'll go into in a second. It'll show you guys just a very short list of different types of organizations that use us for their educational platform. Right. So one of the things our team is also working on right now is getting some really good testimonials um, for you guys to use either on our website or to send to people as introductions. But this does not have to be complicated, guys. All right. So here's the deal. Number one, we reach out to our existing contacts, and not the 80%, not the 80% of people that you don't have great relationships with, of the 80/20, but the 20% that you do have good relationships with. And this is 90% of the stuff on here is my own stuff. I would think we've added a couple things for different parts of the country from here and there, but the majority of the stuff on here are my personal organizations in the Washington, Maryland, D.C. metropolitan area that we use. Um, but this is going to be useful because it's just like kind of ABC, right? So number one, you talk to people that you know, and they can be clients, hopefully, or they can just be contacts, and you say to them, I wanted to let you know that I have recently started working with a nonprofit, and I'm actually running the nonprofit in our neck of the woods, and I'm trying to figure out how to get in front of more people. I wanted to see if I could brainstorm with you over coffee or lunch, and we could talk a little bit about how you might be able to help get in front of more people. Right? That's a really simple conversation. Because of what's going on right now, and all the webinars we're doing, we can just say something like this. I wanted to let you know that the nonprofit that I'm running runs educational webinars every single week so that people can get access to free educational resources online through our nonprofit. We do the educational programs for a lot of the county schools and for the federal government all over the country. And everything is free and online. And I wanted to let you know that you can sign up for these webinars, and also everybody in your sort of distribution. So if you're a real estate agent, or you're a mortgage broker, or you're a PNC insurance agent, or you're anybody with a list of clientele, what my goal is to get you to bring more value to your clients. And we want to keep your name and your face in front of your clients. So as a service for your clients, you can bring in our financial education partnership, and we have a bunch of different experts in a variety of different topics that are all very timely and informative, and updated regularly about how to save money on taxes, how to handle stock market crashes for dummies, how to do estate planning in the post-pandemic estate planning ideas, how to deal with the updates in federal tax and estate planning law. There's a lot of different topics that we can do, and I wanted to have you invite all of your clients to start attending these. And when you do, you're going to see two things happen. Number one, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, they'll give you great feedback, and they'll really appreciate you thinking of them. And number two, they're going to want to meet with you and review with you and get back together with you because you're staying in front of them. So it's going to be really, we try to get our arms around our existing clients and our relationships like you and bring them value. So that's a really simple discussion that you're going to have with and you can call them a centers of influence, but just flip and call your friends. Call your buddies. Call the guy who did your mortgage. Call the people that you do business with. Call the person who does your homeowner's insurance and your car insurance, right? We know that there's no car accidents going on, right? Because traffic is really, really thinned out. So those car insurance people aren't very busy. Pick up the phone and call them. This is what we call organic planning. And for those of you who tell me I don't have anybody to call because I don't have any clients and I don't have any centers of influence and I don't have any relationships, you're wrong. You're dead wrong. You're just not thinking about it, right? You've been thinking about everybody in your life as somebody to sell, right? And so when you approach on somebody to sell, if you're at a party or you're hanging out with your centers of influence or you're at a BNI meeting or whatever, everybody's trying to sell everybody. So the walls are up naturally, right? And then they may take your card, which is a bunch of BS, right? And say, "Oh yeah, I'll pass it along." That doesn't do a thing. That just wastes your time and makes you get older. What we're talking about is proactive marketing through the nonprofit, right? And so the proactive marketing through the nonprofit allows you in a very, very non-threatening, manner, and it's sometimes maybe even a value-added manner um, of bringing these webinars and bringing our educational resources to the public through your channels, right? Through your distribution, through your clients, through your whatever. And I always tell people, if you know somebody, even if they're a mid-level manager somewhere, and they have the ability to call a meeting, then that's perfect. Real estate agents, guess what they're doing? They're sitting there waiting for people to call right now, right? They're thinking of things to do marketing-wise. So you can help them. Different salespeople, Aflac guys, right? Who are the Aflac people trying to sell? They're trying to sell businesses, right? Guess what they've all paid for? Lists of businesses, I guarantee you. Hundreds and hundreds of businesses they've paid for already, those lists. So get around those guys and shoot out our email and webinar invites to all of those people and then start doing webinars, right? And then do the in-person workshops. Once they get a hold of our marketing platform and they get a hold of our stuff and they schedule a webinar, they're going to want to do more in-person workshops. And the in-person workshops are great, because you don't have to pay a bunch of money to get into them. You don't have to pay for a 5 or 10,000 piece mail drop to do them, right? And you're also doing something that not everybody else is doing. So if you want to be successful, you can pay for money and do what everybody else is doing and see your returns diminish over time because those markets get saturated. Or you can not pay anything, do a little bit of work, and just really help build your practice over time. So there's no secret recipe to this success. It's just rolling your sleeves up and getting on the phone and making a phone call. You guys have all done it. I've done it, right? Because that's how we all started in this business. We had to make phone calls. But we're not making cold calls. We're not making sales calls, right? We're making a relationship call. And I will tell you, there's no better person to call than a salesperson. Because those salespeople, even if it's a car salesman, right? They have databases of people that they've been in contact with that they've sold cars to. And now we're going to be inviting these people. And by the way, go to the I just got my wife, I bought her an Alpha, right? Go to the Maserati Alpha dealership, right? Those are the guys you want because they're dealing with high-end clients. Go to the Toyota Camry and the Honda Accord ones, right? Because those are the smart money people. Go to the Toyota Prius ones, right? Those are the electric people. So there's a lot of different things that you can think about. Just spend 2 hours a week with your staff, just shooting the shit with them and coming up with marketing ideas where they can go out and talk to people that doesn't cost you any money, and bring your marketing ideas to the table and start inviting everybody to workshops and webinars. Right? This is the silver lining that we've got going on right now because of what's going on in the environment, right? Everybody wants education. Everybody wants information. And there's a lot of organizations out there that are doing I'm going to do a dinner, or I'm going to give you a gift card, or I'm going to give you an enticement. No enticements, right? We are value add. If you can get somebody to attend an event without an enticement, that leads you towards a motivated prospect, right? If you have to entice somebody to an event, that leads you to what I think the proverbial plate licker had been identified in our business. People that are just coming for the free stuff. That's not what you want. That is a waste of your time, right? So you can build up such a volume of business if you just get to do a little bit of marketing, right? And marketing doesn't mean paying money. Marketing means getting your team together. If it's or if you're the only one on your team, then getting out there and talking to people. And there's no cold marketing. There's no cold canvassing. It's 100% relationships. Right? Worst case scenario. I mean, this is the absolute worst case. If you literally don't have any clients and you're new in the business and you don't know who to talk to, you probably don't belong here. But if you really literally don't have anybody to talk to, call the real estate agents. I promise you. You call the local Long and Foster, you call the local Remax offices. There's probably dozens and dozens of them in your town. They will love to hear from you, and you let them know that you work, and especially with real estate agents in your area, and you educate their clients on how to buy real estate in their IRAs or how to save money on taxes. And you say, we're going to help you keep in front of your clients. We're going to bring value to your clients from you. It's all going to be from you and through you. And then if you have deals that you want to throw to them, you don't need any of their business. You don't need none of this. Forget this quid pro quo BS. Don't do any of the, hey, I'll give you a client if you're going to give me a client. I don't need your damn clients, right? I want to help bring value to your clientele. I want to keep you in front of them. I want to keep your name in front of them. I want them to get education from our nonprofit. That's the approach. It's not difficult to do. I know this because I've done it for more than a decade, right? And I've built up hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these different organizations. The Alzheimer's Association, the county school system, the federal government, NIH, state, local, and municipal governments. Obviously all the different types of associations, the local library systems, the corporations, small architectural firms, large tech companies. It literally does not matter. Okay, you want to get in front of anybody now. If you're going to say, well, okay, I've got call reluctance or I'm not good on the phone, again, maybe you shouldn't be in the business. But if you want to start paying for stuff, go ahead and pay for stuff. I don't really care, but it's your money, and if it might drive some traffic and you might make some money. But if you're going to pay for stuff, please, please, please supplement what you're paying for with some of your own organic stuff that we're talking about here. You will have greater results. You'll have more people attend. You'll have better energy. You'll have a larger variety of people, right? Only certain types of people will answer a piece of mail, a postcard. Only certain types of people will do that. Only certain types of people will be directed towards Facebook or online ads, right? All the people, or I should say all, the majority of the people that we get to our workshops are the people that don't even respond to those other things, right? So we're getting a whole new fresh crop of people that they haven't seen or heard of any of this stuff before. Any of you guys ever have done a workshop and say, oh, yeah, I've been to 4 other workshops at Ruth's Chris and Capitol Grill and Golden Corral or whatever it is? How frustrating is that? Now you're competing with everybody else in the business that's doing the same thing. We never hear that, right? We never hear that in our office from the people that come in out of our workshops. All right. So we are here not only to help you, but we can mentor your marketing teams. And if you don't have a marketing team, get some money and hire somebody part-time. That's what we always tell people. And that part-time person will then be enough to bring in revenue that you can turn him or her into a full-time person, and then hire another part-time person. Now you got a marketing team. If you have 1.5 people, you have a marketing team. So I've got 3 or 4 people on my marketing team, and they bring in enough business on the front end to feed a dozen advisors, right? And not a dozen advisors making $50,000 or $100,000 a year. A dozen advisors making hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. So I know what the scale looks like, and we've literally reached capacity in our office. We can't do any more marketing. We can't handle any more business. We're totally tapped out. So I know this stuff works, but you got to start with the basic stuff, because the organic marketing, it might take some time to develop. It might take 6 months or a year. But if you're doing the mail drops or the Facebook ads or the social media stuff, driving traffic immediately, you're blending this stuff together and you're building databases and databases of additional prospects that you're going to continue to hit over time with really good, fresh new content, with webinars. And when stuff happens, when they retire or they inherit money, you're going to be the only name in front of them, right? They're going to know who you are and they're going to want to do business with you, okay? So I would strongly encourage you guys to start holding the events. We literally have the library for you guys. Even if you're great at the front end of marketing and you're not great at workshops, who cares, right? We literally have all the archived workshops you guys need on all the different topics. You don't even have to do the presentations. So if you like the presentations, you want to do them yourself, that's fine. If you want to do joint webinars with me and do the presentations with me, that's fine, right? We have all these different outlets that are available for you guys. But we want to engage you guys and have you start using, the marketing platform for what it's really designed for, which is to drive in fresh, new, motivated, qualified prospects on a regular and consistent basis without you having to shell out, tens of thousands of dollars to do that. right? So a lot of you guys may have marketing budget, and you can drop marketing budget on some of this stuff. It's totally fine, but don't do it in lieu of the organic stuff, right? Take advantage of what you are and who you are and what you've done. Take advantage of the relationships, and then think about the value that you can bring these relationships, right? I mean, I just remember so vividly. I've got two different mortgage brokers. One name was John, one name was Harris, and I went and visited them, and I said, look, I want to bring value to your clients. I'm going to go ahead and have all the people in my staff offer free consultations just for your clients. So I want to invite them, and let me know who you want to invite. Both of these guys literally emailed me their entire client databases, right? But that's not good enough, right? I don't want your client database. I want you to email your client database. That's the difference. Because if they sent me over their client database and I emailed them, they don't know who I am. In fact, a lot of it's just going to go through spam. It's not even going to get to them. But if I say to you, here's the invite to talk about financial planning in uncertain times, invite your database, they're going to recognize John and they're going to recognize Harris, and they'll invite their database, right? And you'll get a ton of people to show up. It's not like sending out 10,000 invites and getting 0.5% to show up. It's like sending out 1,000 invites and getting 100 people to show up. 10% is normally what we see. We see a 10% response rate on the invites that we sent out if it's through a known distribution channel, right? If it's cold, forget about it. It's just massively inefficient. So, and thank goodness, somebody had talked me into getting a really good CRM system in place 10 years ago. But, everything that's going on right now should help you guys understand how important it is to partner with people that have databases, to bring value to them, and to market through them. Again, you can still do mail drops today if you want to. Use the postage discount, drive traffic to a webinar or an in-person event. You can still do that. But again, don't do it instead of or in lieu of, because if you do it that old way that everybody else is doing and the rules change, you're going to be stuck. And you're going to be either out of business or hurting for business. Right? But if you control your own marketing because of the hard work that you've done, when your staff is done, when stuff changes, you're not going to lose control. You're going to be able to adapt to the changing times, and you're going to be able to really have more control over when things don't go the right way. Okay, so marketing is your lifeline to have control over your practice. All right, so that is sort of my message for today, and I know I come off as pretty intense when I talk about this stuff, because if you can't do this, then you don't belong in this business, right? If you can't do this simple, basic marketing 101, which is networking, I'm talking about not a single cold call. Nobody's, in the days of you guys remember who have been around longer or as long as I have, we used to be handed cold lists, right? We would buy people that just had babies, people that just bought mortgages, and say, hey, congratulations on your new baby. Those are cold calls, right? Those were hard to do. These are not difficult calls. These are enjoyable sort of connections. It's networking, right? But don't go into a room full of other people at a BNI networking thing where nobody's taking anybody seriously, right? Go to the people that you have good relationships with and tell them, I got a message that people need to hear. I've got a whole army of experts in a variety of different fields that are hosting webinars weekly through our nonprofit, and I don't want your guys to miss out. And I want them to thank you for inviting them. So you're going to bring value to them, and then you're going to get all these people into your database. They get the survey, they request the appointment, and then you're off to the races. Okay? Please don't overcomplicate this stuff. Please don't make it more difficult than it is. All right? Utilize your skills and your relationships, and you will have a ton of fun. I mean, this is stuff that we enjoy doing, in our office. And we have opened up so many doors and gotten into so many places without having to spend any money. Right? So I want you to think about it. And again, sorry for the technological hiccup this morning, but go out tomorrow and say, look, by the end of this week, I'm going to get 3 new relationships. And those 3 new relationships are going to invite their email lists or their distributions or their clients to my next webinar. And you will be astonished how many people you can get without having to do any type of, out-of-pocket expense for this type of deal. Okay? So please use us. All of our stuff on our platform is designed for you guys to be part of a much larger organization than you could ever be on your own. We're growing very, very fast. We're national. We have lots of resources and topics. If you don't need us, then and you just want to say, hey, you're part of a nonprofit, there's nothing wrong with that. We're different. We're something different to everybody. But don't just not use us, because nothing will happen if you just sit there. Inertia is the greatest force in the universe. So get up, get some stuff in motion, and you will see amazing things happen. All right. Thank you guys very much. That is all I have for today. Again, because Kiana's out, I don't know how to do the follow up, unmute, and I'm nervous to do it, so I'm not going to. So reach out to us directly, or reach out to our partners that brought you to us, and let's get something started. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you. Bye.